Welcome, everybody, to the Swiss Army Man podcast, episode number 13. I am joined today by my special guest, Mr. Tyler Allen.
What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm all right. Yourself?
I am doing pretty good. Long day at work. Got a long day ahead of me tomorrow, but I'm here having a great conversation with you. That's for sure, as always.
Same.
So for those of you who don't know who Tyler is the Swiss Army Man of the Anomalies podcast.
I am.
He does a little bit of everything. Tell everybody kind of like what you do over there, and then anything else the people should know about you. I know you're in Nebraska. Definitely want to mention that.
I'm in a little podunk town called Kearney, Nebraska, 3 hours west of Omaha. As I was getting done telling Tony. Well, I mean, he knows. Fucking. What am I doing? Anyway, yeah, I do all the back end stuff for the Anomalies. I post, hopefully now will be video on somewhat of a decent basis, and I do the audio and recording it, posting it, editing it, a lot.
You're the force that makes that thing move over there.
Because the other three had no idea to begin with.
Yeah. Tanner Trash Man. If you don't know the Anomalies podcast, definitely go check that out. I will, after we are done talking, have a little overlay that shows the Anomalies Twitter. So go follow them. They always post links to the stuff. It's definitely worth watching and listening to. I've been on it quite a few times. Always had a great time. And I always look forward to coming back. The Anomalies podcast. So what was the genesis of like starting the Anomalies podcast for you guys?
Oh, we were all Pat McAfee fans, and there had been rumblings in the group previous to my arrival of, well, why don't we start a podcast? And then eventually the Tyreek Hill taking over a camera situation happened. They all found out that I know how to record stuff somewhat, and I got reached out to and said, "You think you could do this remotely?" I said, "Oh fuck, I gotta try." Shit, can we swear?
Yeah, you can swear. Swear all you want.
I don't know.
Same rules as the Anomalies. Same rules.
I didn't know if you were going like somewhat PG, or at least you can listen to it with your kids in the car.
No, for sure not.
Okay. But I went, okay, this it's going to be difficult because it's remote. I have to do it. Sometimes we do our show from 3 different time zones, and so there's a lot of trial and error involved.
Did one time we have 4 time zones?
Yeah, we did have all 4.
Was that the draft?
With you involved?
Draft episode?
Yeah, pretty sure. Because it was with you involved, and then Fleegs was in Indiana, myself in the Central, along with Tanner and Marco, and then Trashman in the.
So 4 time zones.
Well, now we got to get a Canadian friend and maybe explore like Nova Scotia or the Victorias, or I don't even know.
Yeah. I think you might have to get up to maybe Alaska or Hawaii to get another time, maybe Pacific time zone.
I always wondered how that worked. Because like if you're coming from Washington and you want to go to Alaska, it's like, how do you get there? It's like you can't like have a passport,
It is kind of weird. I never thought about driving through, but yeah, I guess technically you would probably need a passport.
I had friends that lived up there, and they say that's like a thing. I'm like, how do you get from one to the other without?
Because you have to go through Canada. So I mean, I guess you could probably either get on a boat or how does boat work? How does that water work? And how much of the water do people own? Like, does the country own? Do you know?
I have no idea. I just always wondered if that was a thing.
Because I would assume because I lived in Virginia Beach, so I lived right on the ocean. So like some portion of that ocean out has to be the United States land before it gets to like just.
I always thought it was like 10 miles in regards to like ocean, but I always thought that wasn't like there wasn't like 10 miles, and then that's like 10.1. The Coast Guard waves to you on the other side.
They're like, you're not in America anymore.
We can't help you, but good luck.
What's with the like miles, and then there's like, isn't there like nautical miles?
It's like 1.1.
Yeah, it's like something stupid like that.
It's like I want to meet the measurement. It's like 0.9. It's like
is like they just gotta make
two together, and it makes another irrational.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I mean, like a lot of stuff is irrational, like in the world with like metric system versus like our standard American math system and like all of that kind of stuff.
It's weird.
I was trying to buy something for Christmas today, and it was like in the picture. It was online, and the picture was in centimeters, and I was like, oh, I don't know how big that is.
What is that? 3 3/4 is like
Yeah.
an inch or some shit. Rid of the inches to want to be like, okay, this is now a representable number here.
Right, and that's the C talk of this podcast. You mentioned it in your explanation of kind of like what you do and how you get started with the podcast. But I guess one of your big claims to fame would be the Tyreek Hill incident.
Yeah, boy, I'm proud of it. Even the events that led to it, I'm like, I'll still defend him. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, there's some gray area there. Who knows what really happened?
Yeah. I mean, it was properly investigated by FBI, Johnson County authorities, and the NFL themselves. I figure, at least if there's not some upper level corruption, I'm pretty sure he's in the clear.
I mean, he's definitely playing, so he's in NFL clear for sure. So,
right.
I mean, so you're a Chargers fan.
I am.
Tyreek Hill plays for the Chiefs.
Yep.
You were at a Chiefs game.
Thank you to my wife. That's how that happened. It was literally a wedding gift. And then she got sent the tickets, and she's all like, so I looked up the tickets the other day. I'm like, okay. Because she always leads with like a subjective sentence to try and elicit a reaction out of me. And
yeah.
She goes, I think we're in the end zone. Like, really, really close in the end zone. And so I was like, okay, send me the link. And she sends me the link, and it's like row 2. And I'm like,
pretty close.
Okay.
that's like almost catching balls for the team. Close.
And this was like around the time, because back then, at least once a weekend, Pat would always hold a 20% off sale. So I said, fuck it. I'll wear a red one for the brand one, and just be one of these schmucks that get on TV and just go like this on field goals. And then, like, fast forward to the week to Veterans Day when the game actually happened. We go down to our row, and like it's right next to the camera guy. And like I had put on my Facebook, I was like, what camera company are you with? Because it didn't have any like CBS gimmick until I actually watched the footage on the other side of where I was sitting. And so it's all like, and so I tweeted, I was like, tune in, blah, 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 on CBS, says cameraman. And then it happened. Like I literally was like, went down, took a swig of beer, put my beer back, and I saw Tyreek Hill needed a hand, and so I gave him.
Which is awesome. Yeah, the GIF is super cool too. Like to see, it's pretty hilarious. Like
I love the GIF, and that's how I got notified of it first.
Yeah,
I got notified on Facebook. Is all like, is that really you? And I'm like, yes, I'm fucking here. I'm right here.
Right.
I tweeted a picture of where I'm sitting currently, and they tweeted the GIF, and it was just a monster.
That thing went big. It went huge, and then it just hit its year anniversary, right? Like couple weeks ago.
Veterans Day just happened not too long ago, and I tweeted the GIF and tweeted the anniversary and got the retweet.
That's awesome. It was. I mean, it's a cool like first off, going to sporting events, and I don't know how often you go to live sports. I know like you're a busy man, and
I try. We try to, especially with her being in Kansas City and all.
Yeah,
like we in the summer times, she usually likes to go down there, and we usually go catch a Royals game. Like we've been wanting to try and go in and get a NASCAR race down there.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
NFL, that was my second NFL game. I had been to one against the Colts. Ironically enough, Pat didn't punt that game at all because the Colts just absolutely walked over the Chiefs at the time.
You got to see a lot of kickoffs, though.
Yeah. But Pat didn't punt, and that was my first time, but the Tyreek Hill one was my second time, and I'm hoping to go for a third time, but I haven't got confirmation yet, because allegedly those seats are possibly mine again, but
nice.
I don't know yet.
That'd be awesome.
Right.
Maybe another GIF in the works.
Hopefully.
Round
this
2.
time it will be either either for the brand blue or Charger blue. I haven't decided.
That'd be awesome. I have that red, that same red for the brand shirt because I'm wearing a McAfee shirt right now. But I typically have a ton of black McAfee shirts or like the pub shirts. So I was like, I need some color. So I was like, I'll get a red for the brand.
I have the McAfee Mafia pub one, the green pub one that they did for St. Patrick's Day, even though that's kind of shrunk and kind of not fit me anymore. And then the red, allegedly.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, I have a bunch of I have the 3 main hoodies. I have the For the Brand camo, and then both the shows, and then I have a bunch of like t-shirts. But I wear a ton of hoodies, so usually I'm wearing a hoodie.
I want to get a hoodie so bad, but 3X is kind of like pushing it.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a massive dude.
You're a tall dude, correct?
Yeah, almost 6'5".
Yeah, I was gonna say I was looking at. I forgot it was. I think it was when we friended each other on Facebook, and I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "Tyler's a tall drink of water over there."
Yeah, 6'5". Well, I haven't weighed myself in a while. I was like 385 pounds.
Damn, you're like Andre the Giant over there, man.
Decent offensive lineman back in the day.
Nice. Did you play? I'm assuming you played high school, obviously. Did you play college as well?
No, I decided to focus on finding a career in college. Even though I was like, I still weightlifted and still like did athletic things. I was just a band nerd. Went full musician because I was like, I wanted to record things instead of bash people's heads in.
Nice. So that's actually it's actually kind of like where I found my my kinship with you there. So I was an athlete all the way through college. Played baseball and I ran cross country, and I played soccer in college. So I played 3 sports in college in the short span that I was there. But also I'm a big music fan, and I also play music for a living. So it's like you don't find too many people who do both, like either sports or actually, as a matter of fact, in coming out of high school, like my first, like maybe I was like 20 when I met this girl. It was like that, just the start of the era of like meeting people online, and like I dated her for a couple of years, but she like was like so confused that I like had like sports and then art and then music like as like interests. She was like, this doesn't make sense, because she was like a straight theater art like kind of like nerd. And she
was that pre-space?
Well, huh? Oh yes, that was pre-space.
Yeah, pre the space.
Yeah, that was pre-space.
Oh yeah, damn! Because that's. I guess I kind of broke in the infancy because I had something similar. I had MySpace that was just all football pics and all football this, that, and the other thing, but it always had music and music quotes and all sorts of emo-y type shit on there too. But nobody bat an eye about that sort of thing.
Yeah, so mine was like, so I guess it maybe predated even my MySpace, because I think it was the actually it was the Hot or Not thing. It was like, I don't know if you remember that. So it was on there. So it was just like a picture. And you got laying, and you could like connect with people. I was dating myself, but like, yeah, that was that was the day.
I never delved into the dating apps or the website. I always thought about it, like, like how much mail order brides became a thing. I was like, I always wanted to investigate. What are you site? Do I got to dial in here?
Right. It's so weird, like like the internet, like, but back when like I did date that chick, it was weird because it was like people were like, "How'd you meet?" And I was like, "On the internet," and people were like, "What?" And now it's like so commonplace that people meet on the internet.
It's like, what dating site? Match.com. Did you fuck her on Tinder? Maybe.
Yeah. See, I like Tinder and all that stuff that came after me after I was locked down. So.
I felt so bad because I was like, Tinder became a thing, and I was just like, really, you can dial up somebody and go fuck them?
I mean, essentially, that's what it is, right? It's just like
people are just where was this in high school?
Yeah, right. Like that's. I feel like that's a lot of
healthcare coverage back then. You could get penicillin cheap.
Penicillin. Oh man. Yeah, that is a pretty It's kind of crazy how just to see it in a little span. Like I was just talking to somebody today about like somebody who's lived 100 years and like where like 100 years ago, like where the world was. But like even in my own like little span, because I'm 36, like just like the 15-year window that like has been the last 15 years, like how far things have come is like just astonishing.
And they all, the fucks that are old or the north of 100, they're always like, "What's the secret? I drink Dr. Pepper 3 times a day and take my medicine."
Yeah.
It's always Dr. Pepper too. It's like, oh, Coke's too darn.
Dr. Pepper's the fountain of youth.
I swear, it's like if you Google Dr. Pepper and put in age 100, I guarantee you could get like a plethora of stories where they say Dr. Pepper's responsible. Dr. Pepper's responsible. You're just like, how?
Yeah, you know what always trips me out when I think of like old people over 100. I always think of like Smuckers, because like on the Today Show it was always like the Smuckers, like it was like sponsored by Smuckers.
And then it's had the fancy vignette of like these 6 people are like 108 to 114, and you're like,
yeah,
you saw the Titanic scene.
Yeah, right. Like it was trippy though. Back when I was a kid, I was like, it was maybe it was like 2001, so I was like 18. Like right. You watch that show, and like people would be like 104, and you were like, that dude was born in the 1800s. Like that's trippy, right?
Like you saw the Titanic sink and the stock market crash.
Yeah,
I'd be done. I'd just be like,
dude, they went through some shit back then. Like, yeah, and now we have podcasts and we do whatever the fuck we want.
Right.
So back to your no, I get on tangents. This is the best. This is the thing I love about podcasts. You can just go and talk about fucking anything.
Didn't also help that I smoked before this too. So you're just hella good one.
That's awesome. So back to college. You went to college and you what did you study? I guess like because I know you did music, but like did you do like engineering or like is it in a certain something in particular?
So I went undeclared 1 year, and then one semester, and then I auditioned for the School of Music at University of Nebraska, Kearney, and then I kind of chickened out. But I still took lessons and did all the music requirements and did a year of IT. And then I kind of just decided because the third year, they hired a sound engineer that was interested in teaching us shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going all in on this. And so I decided to go music business full time. I'm a few credits shy from my degree. But because I got taught, his name was Rick Scholwin. He taught us everything we needed to know about signal flow and doing sound live, and it was such a good experience.
That's awesome.
And I just never really looked back after that.
That's cool. So like I guess like so what's the plan for like that? Is that what you want to do? That's like the route you want to go for a career? Like
where's that fucking book at? I had a book. That's right here. I'm doing IT certifications.
Holy shit, that's a big, thick book.
It's like a 1,700-page book, but it's the A+ certification. I plan on getting 2 more by March.
Damn.
But it's like you study up on your own, and then you save up the money because it's quite a bit of money, like $200-300 an attempt.
Oh, okay.
To take in this case 2 tests, because A+, there's a software test and then there's like a hardware computer test.
Oh, okay.
And you take both of those, then you're A+ certified, and then you can actually make more than $20,000 a year slinging sandwiches like I currently do.
Yeah. So that's good. So to have when you have that certification, it's a pretty big jump for you. Like then it's kind of like the
it gets my foot in the door to at least a decent job.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So like what kind of line of work is that? Would that be like doing mostly? Like,
IT.
Is there just any? So you can. I mean, IT is pretty much anything, right? Like you can kind of pick anywhere.
Yeah, this is the jack of all trades jerk off certification for like repairing computers and mobile devices.
Oh, okay.
But I kind of want to deep dive into possibly becoming a cybersecurity analyst.
Oh, that's sweet. That's awesome. My dad does stuff like that. That's like what he does in his field.
Do something about drugs and the government because I like weed too much.
Right. Well, I mean, By then it'll probably be legal.
I think I can become a pretty dope one, but they just gotta be all like, "Don't drug test me. We're cool." You know?
By then it'll probably be legal, and they won't even test for it.
Right. That's the aspiration.
Because I mean, I know a lot of those dudes, and most of them hammer bag drinks. So I mean,
it's like some people even come to work like that drunk, and you're like, "Fuck."
It's crazy.
You still have a job? And it's like, I can't barely get my foot in the door. Come the fuck off.
I feel like it's like that. Once you get your foot in the door in those businesses, it's hard to get them out. You know, it's like it's nuts. That's why the good part about the job is it's the job security part.
And then there's a security plus one. That's just one test, and a network plus one. That's just one test, and it's all the foundational stuff. And then the security analysis test will be after that. So, and now once I get that should net me north of $100,000 a year.
Damn, that's awesome.
In the right spot. So,
heck yeah. And where you're currently at, is there a market for that? I know like Omaha has like Stratcom and stuff like for.
They do, and great. I've even been coerced by the National Guard to start working as a civilian there, but I reluctantly not do it for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But they still call me with incidences to help them out with, and I say, if you can get me in, I'll help you, and they usually oblige.
Yeah.
But I just never really thought nothing of it at the time. To be honest with you, like my dad was super sick, and I was like, I don't really want to be a cube monkey. And then upon doing more research, you're not really a cube monkey if you're traveling from computer to computer to computer. So
true, right? You're just in other people's cubes,
right?
Which
you're not slumming it in your own.
Yeah, exactly, right? No, yeah, I always had a fascination with that kind of stuff, but it never like I can't sit down and study it. Like that part, it's just like. But like the whole general scope of like IT and like making things work, it's always been interesting.
I've always from the fucking age of like third or fourth grade, we've always had a knack for fucking up a computer and trying to fix it. So
nice.
I just never really followed it. Like I just followed my passion because I was like, my dad's sick. He's living a super short life. I should probably make it count somewhat.
Yeah, right.
that was at least my aspiration and thought process at the time.
So that's a similar thought process for me. My dad wasn't sick, luckily, but like my dad was joined the military essentially to like make something of himself because he's 9 brothers and sisters and like came from like a obviously like a lower income family. So he was like, I got to go do something. I got to get out. And he's made something of himself, but he didn't necessarily follow his dreams per se, but like he made a career and I think he really enjoys it now. But like, I'm like, so I was like, always like, I'm going to follow my dreams. Like I'm going to try to do what I can do. And then I got hurt playing baseball. And then, that's why like I do stuff like this. Cause I just like this is more up in the line of like what I would want to do, but
right.
But I thoroughly enjoy it. And it's kind of like a therapeutic release to bullshit with a bunch of friends and like have fun.
I mean, you have the advantage of drawing. Like the whole putting it together nowadays, it can be answered with an app.
Yeah.
You at least have the creative ability to at least whatever's in your head, you can put it on paper. I do not have that ability.
Well, it's funny. I was gonna say it's fun.
I'm more of the reactionary type.
which actually works really well for you in the podcast because everyone else is so like so like to be able to react and have that as like your go-to is actually works probably in your favor.
Scared to put out the video because like I'm trying not to be audible about it, but if you see the video, my facial expressions they always give it away.
Yeah.
His face is I don't have a good gambling face, I've always been told, but
it's so funny though. Like being on the podcast with you guys, it's always so fun. You guys are like just always giving each other shit and it's fun. I mean, like again, I'm gonna do a commercial for the Anomalies, but if you haven't listened to the Anomalies and you're listening to this podcast, go listen to them because it's just it's a clusterfuck of like hilarity basically. Like
I mean, Tanner sets the tone.
Tanner does set the tone. Like
he leads from behind. Or shit, no. That. that phrase. He leads from ahead.
Ah,
Even though that
man.
doesn't sound right in my head.
It does. Yeah. It does kind of sound a little weird.
Right?
But
Shit.
Tanner's Tanner, so what can you expect from Tanner? I mean, so obviously, like we've already touched, you're a Chargers fan. So like, how you feeling about the season?
We're gonna play spoiler, yo. And if we win games and we take away your wild card chances, sorry, bro. Like we're gonna do to Jacksonville this Sunday. Sunday.
I mean, my wife would be plenty happy. She's a Colts fan, so she's rooting for anybody to beat anybody in her division, to be honest.
Like we'll take the lowest possible one. Gardner Minshew. I think he's starting.
Yeah. This big news. Yeah, they benched Nick Foles.
That's right. I just wasn't sure. I was like, maybe they pulled an Andy Dalton like they did in Cincinnati and started Andy Dalton, and he got it done. But
that's the dumbest thing to do if you're Cincinnati. Why would you start Andy Dalton there? Because he's not going to want to lose. He's basically auditioning for other teams at this point. Like
essentially, I mean, he's not Zach Taylor's guy. That's for sure.
No.
Zach Taylor was always like, I'm not a betting man, but I think Zach Taylor's going to want some sort of pocket passer because that's all he was in college.
Yeah.
Sat in the pocket and passed and did bootlegs and RPOs, but he hardly ever ran it.
Yeah, he's definitely going to want. I mean, most coaches want their guy, right? Like, I mean, that's kind of like their coach and the quarterback are so heavily tied.
I just kind of expected more from Zach Taylor to try and form Andy Dalton to be that sort of quarterback because that's how he was in TCU.
Yeah, he was he was a pocket. I never really think of Andy Dalton as like not a pocket passer, but
right.
But yeah, I mean, he's a weird guy to be like a franchise guy. Like he just doesn't seem like a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where he was in reference to Kaepernick. Was he before or after Kaepernick?
I think he was before.
I want to say he was the guy who's there currently, like first quarterback.
I was gonna say
he only did like 2 years, and Dalton pieced out to the NFL.
Yeah.
What's that coach's name?
Marvin Lewis? No.
No. Bullfrogs coach. Come on, I know my football.
Who was that guy? Who was that? Why can't I think? Yeah, no, that's I know he went to TCU. I can't think of who the coach was there. People are yelling. They're like, motherfucker.
It's this guy, especially like the schmuck from Texas that stumbles upon this.
Yeah, right. No, but Andy Dalton came in. What draft class did Andy Dalton come in? He came in with like the like a pretty good quarterback group, didn't he?
Was he in the Stafford class?
He might have been. No, that was
No, you're right.
Man, and I'm usually pretty good at those things. I'm gonna Google it because I'm just like my brain's not working. But he came in. He was a second round draft choice. I remember that.
I do remember that. Cincinnati has been notoriously bad that year.
Yeah. Because I think he was like the first or second pick in the second round or something like that.
Scatterbrain, man.
No,
I can't fight it.
Scatterbrain tonight. So I mean, you come from. So are you a Nebraska fan as well then?
I bleed scarlet and cream like every other Nebraska fan does.
That was the one thing I lived in Nebraska in the height of Tommy Frazier. And
so 93 through 95 then.
Yeah. That was a wild run. Lawrence Phillips and all those guys.
So you probably remember the run vividly. The Miami game.
Oh yeah. Dude, Tommy Frazier, to this day, like if he didn't have blood clots in his knees, I would have been like such an amazing player to watch play in the NFL.
Can you believe that fucking schmuck said Scott Frost isn't ready to take over the team?
That's wild too. Like
he said, I was just like, really, bro? Like you're gonna do much better?
And Scott Frost has done well. I mean,
It's like, come the fuck on. He had the resume to back himself up. 2 years, undefeated seasons at UCF.
yeah.
It's like, if that resume isn't good enough, it's like unrealistic expectations.
Well, that's the thing is like, so you have the resume, and then you also have like the pedigree of being from there.
Yeah.
As a like, I mean,
Dogwood River.
so I mean, Scott Frost was he played quarterback for Nebraska, and then he went on to play. He played safety in the NFL
For the Steelers, yeah. And then
Yeah,
Mike Tomlin said, "Hey, you should probably start coaching sometime soon."
because you're not going to play much.
And he did. He got hired on by Tomlin, did 3 years, and then that's when Chip Kelly in Oregon came a calling.
Oh yeah. And then he made his way down to UCF from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what. Yeah, that's a good. That's anytime you can have those kind of things where you have the player who's played there. They seem to have like the buy-in from the players eventually because they're on the same field as them.
Oh, they made a spectacle of it. The opening game, it was like they tried to get if you played on in Nebraska and you have a pulse and you can get to Lincoln, they had him there like for the opening.
Like a whole bunch of
there's guys, video.
Those guys love. I mean, I've never seen a college like atmosphere quite like that. Like that's a big one.
I equate it to one of the pillars of Islam. It's like one of the 5 things you got to do if you live here.
Yeah,
you got to make your pilgrimage to Memorial Stadium.
I mean, that makes sense. That 1,000%. Because I remember, I think it was like 6th grade or something, maybe 5th grade. Like they had like 2 of the offensive linemen from like Nebraska come and like talk to us, like in like elementary school, and it was like you would think it was like a holiday. Like it was crazy.
I just remember like in elementary school, the cards that like different banks and outlets would put out, they were like sought after too.
Oh yeah.
That was back in the day of like Almond Green and all that. And
oh yeah,
like
that was wild, dude. Amon Green was probably, aside from Percy Harvin, the most like NFL ready. It's like most obvious NFL player I've ever seen in high school. Like because he played my brother's so my brother went to high school at Bellevue East, and so I never made it there because we moved before I went to high school, but
right.
They played. I forgot. I want to say he played for like Abraham. I can't remember what high school he played for. But dude, that dude ran for like 7 touchdowns. Like it was just like
unheard of,
ridiculous. Most like ridiculous. Like he just crushed it. Percy Harvin was the same way. I saw him play in Virginia, and when he was in high school, and I mean, you could tell he was going pro. He was going to be a pro. Like.
I do have one of Amon Green's signed balls from when he was a Packer and did a signing like near me.
That's awesome.
Somewhere around here.
Amon Green was legit. He played. He actually had a really good pro career too, which is like.
It was long. I think it was good 6-8 years.
Yeah, he did some damage. Did he get he got a title with the Packers?
Yeah,
I thought so.
Or I'm pretty sure.
I think so too.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean that seems to make sense.
It does.
Because he came in the league the same year as Peyton Manning. So yeah. I mean Peyton Manning played good a long time, got some rings too.
Didn't get a national title though.
No.
He lost to Nebraska 42-17.
Yeah. And then the best part of it was T. Martin came right after him and got a national title, which is the most hilarious thing about it.
Yeah, so was.
It's crazy. It was crazy that that I always wonder how Peyton Manning got to Tennessee, because like
I never knew that.
Because his dad played at Ole Miss, right? And then and obviously Eli did,
and he was anchoring for Peyton to go to Ole Miss too. But
yeah,
what happened?
I think was it, and I may totally be having this backwards, but I think like who's the older brother? Cooper.
Oh,
I think Cooper. So Cooper was the one that had the back issue, like a degenerative back issue or something like that.
What?
And he's the older one. And then I think he went to Ole Miss, and I think that's where they found out he couldn't play. So I think maybe Peyton Manning was mad. I want to say I heard that somewhere, but I don't know if that's true or not. So I just might have made that up. But
well, I'm mad at you, Daddy. I'm going to go to the next state over and play football. You just got to travel 600 miles north.
Right? It's wild, though. Like, I always think about that, especially in regards to your quarterback, Mr. Phillip Rivers. If Peyton Manning didn't play so well in the NFL, does Eli become like the number one draft choice there? Because he never wowed me.
I don't know. That's just so much speculation there. Like paradigm shifts would have to align in order for that to happen. Because it's just like, if it wasn't for Archie's wrongdoing and trying to get him into a Giants jersey, I guarantee you he'd still be here.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, without Peyton being in the NFL and him having the Manning like pull of like power of a sorts, like there's no way he forces that trade
easily.
Like, so, and then you have Eli as your quarterback. Do you guys want a title? Like,
but then you, if you think about it, if he was the quarterback, do we take down New England one of those times too?
Yeah. It's weird because, like, I honestly think that Phillip Rivers is probably the best quarterback out of him, Roethlisberger, and Eli, but he's the only one that doesn't have any titles. Like, it makes no sense.
Fucking 12-4 seasons, but nothing to fucking show for it.
Yeah, like it makes no sense because I'm like, man, Phillip Rivers is like, you see him and you're like, he should have a title. Like, it feels like he should have a title.
I think if they get a decent play caller for the head coach or for the OC job, I know the guy that is doing it now is on the interim basis, but I think if he just gets a new play caller at the helm, I think, because that's something similar happened in 2013, and that's why they hired Ken Wisenhunt to begin with.
Yeah,
because they needed to charge up their offense and be more gunslinger Phil.
Yeah.
Instead of the RPO style type Phil, and that's what Ken Wisenhunt did for 13, so 6 years, 7 seasons now.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just time for another change.
It'd be interesting. Maybe we'll get Jason Garrett.
I mean, if Jason Garrett can give a shit and call for 3.5 games or 3.5 quarters worth of football, I'm okay with that.
Right? Oh, man.
Instead of just 1 quarter of straight football, 2 quarters of misery, and then a last-ditch game-winning drive that always ends in misery.
Right. I think it was Pat. Pat was talking about, obviously, well, I know it was Pat talking about it. I think he was talking about it recently, about Tom Brady going down there. You ready to have Tom Brady as your quarterback?
Oh, if Tom Brady wants to start from the bottom, we'll take him here. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
I just hope our ownership is ready to part ways with some money so we can get a receiving core.
Well, yeah. I mean, I bet you Keenan Allen and Hunter Henry would be dope with fucking Tom Brady, though.
It's just like in the AFC West, there's not enough. It's not enough weapons.
No,
especially with how stacked Kansas City is.
Well, yeah, Kansas City's stacked, and then freaking Florio talking about freaking Andrew Luck going to the Raiders.
I still have yet to listen to that, but it's on my agenda because I'm just like Florio, you just come from left field.
I feel like that's got to be like some insider shit. He didn't say like he got.
Like, is Oliver Luck leaking this to you? Is that how this is working?
That's what I'm saying.
Daddy Dearest being all like, okay, we're gonna pay Florio 20 spot. We're gonna get him in this. He's gonna write an article. We'll get this going.
Yeah, right.
And it's just like it makes you wonder. It's like if it is indeed true, what does Jim Irsay, who forked over $24 million for him to not play this season, think about that to begin with too?
Right, that's buck wild. Well, he'd have to be traded, so like they obviously the Colts would have to get something out of it.
You would think.
because he's still owned by them technically. His rights. If Pat was still owned by them, like Ballard said, you would think that Luck would. That's wild.
That on the show too. It's like technically Chris Ballard owns my house,
right? In the football sense, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about football is like it's just like, and you never know too, because that could be like Tom Brady could be the only change you guys get, and then that could be you guys could win a title. Like that's how football is. It gets weird.
Like it's like I take what Pat. It's like I'm hoping what Pat says is true. It's just like anything Adam Schechter says. I'm just like no, I don't buy it. Don't buy it. I don't buy that we're going to move to Mexico City. I don't buy that we're going to move to London. Both times he speculated that was going to happen in season 2. Well, I love you, Schechter, but come on, man.
Both of those seem a little unreal. Like, I mean, you're not going to move a team, I don't think, out of the country anytime soon. Unless it's to Canada. I could see Canada getting it like a Toronto or something.
Unless it's Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Like, I can see Tony Khan taking that operation to London and just being all like, what's up?
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. But it'd be so much time difference in time that it's like, I'm going to London this year. So,
what are you doing there?
So my wife's a huge Cubs fan. The Cubs play the Cardinals in London this year, and we got tickets. So yeah, it's London. What is it? I can't remember. It's like London. I don't think it's Wembley. It's London. I want to say London Stadium, but I think that sounds stupid. I don't know if that's right or not. But yeah, the Cardinals are playing the Cubs, and we're going.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I've never been to London. I lived overseas. I lived in Iceland and a couple other places, but like never been to London, so it'll be interesting.
Been to Boston to see Yanks Red Sox at Fenway.
That's on my list. Fenway and Wrigley. I've not been to neither one of those, and I would love to go to it.
Fenway fucking rules.
It looks like it.
It was so fun because like, and even the Yankees were so intimidated. There was like a 7:05 start pitch time.
Yeah,
we sat in the seats and they didn't come out for 10 minutes.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, there was like either some chicken shitness involved or just like. They weren't just ready for take the bullshit,
right?
And it was quite the experience. It was awesome.
Who's your baseball team?
Boston Red
Sox.
So
how does that happen? How do you pick the Chargers, and then how do you pick the Boston Red Sox?
Chargers happened when Elway won it, and when did he win it? It was 97, right?
I believe so.
When Broncos won it, Elway said, "Sayonara, I'm retiring." And then I decided I'm going free agency mode. I'm going to pick a new team. I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to pick the box standard worst team that I just think this team has some chemistry. Well, 2001 roll around, Drew Brees and LT come into the picture.
Yeah.
And they get a lot of national TV play. And I'm just like, let's do this. Let's go. I'm on this train. And I've ridden that train ever since. The Red Sox was in 2004. I was kind of kicking around, like, because I was doing basketball statistics and like baseball and scoring baseball games in high school while I was like weightlifting and training for like football and track.
Yeah.
And so I asked my dad, like, initially, I was like, should I watch the World Series? And like, it was the 04 one where the Red Sox made that run with Curt Schilling in the ALCS with the bloody foot.
With the bloody sack.
Fell in love ever since. been a red hot Red Sox fan ever since.
Well, that's been a rewarding one for you.
So far, yeah. Seeing the curse, yeah, that was dope. Seeing Curse getting broke up, that was so cool.
That's like, it is one of the coolest things. I can only imagine. Because I remember how big it was. I remember the curse. I'm a huge baseball fan. I'm a Tigers fan, but like my Tigers have been god awful. They've gone to the World Series and just shit it away. So I've gotten to see the coolness of like, I watched my wife, who's a huge Cubs fan, like them break the curse. I watched her watch that. Like she was like crying and stuff. Like it was like nuts. It was like
same thing happened with my wife when Kansas City won it like 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all like lost their shit. It was kind of like cool to see.
That was
Okay.
my first stadium experience was Kauffman Stadium.
Really? What'd you
Yeah.
think?
I thought it was awesome. It was when they had the old school fountains. I haven't been there since the new one, but they had the old school fountains. And
The new school ones are definitely an improvement.
yeah, it was nuts. But it was Chicago White Sox versus the Royals. Bob Hamlin's rookie year, he hit a homer. Frank Thomas hit a homer. It was a pretty crazy game. It was fun, super fun to watch. I think it went 14 innings or something like that.
Damn.
But it was
See,
fun.
the last one was against Dallas Braden's Oakland A's, and it went, and we were down about 14 runs.
Yeah.
To the A's that made the playoffs that year.
Yeah, it was so I grew up in so I spent time in Bellevue, which is really Omaha, like the outskirts of Omaha, and so we went to a lot of for some reason every military.
You don't want to disclose Offutt Air Force Base in Bellevue?
Yes, yep, it is. That's where my dad was stationed for sure. So
that's where, if you ask 90% of the people, it's all like, if you're from Bellevue, it's like, oh, so you're in the military?
Yeah.
Either you get the A or nay. 90% of the time, you get the yay.
Yeah, right. No, so I found that for some reason everywhere we moved, and I don't know if it's everywhere we moved or if it was just like most military bases. Most military bases seem to have a AAA team around.
That is true. So you were a Storm Chaser fan.
So they were the Omaha Royals when I was there.
That's right.
so
I was dating myself.
So I got to see like Joe Randa and like all of like that little crop of like Johnny Damon and stuff come up through there.
Oh, that's right. He was a fucking Royal.
Saw a bunch of cool like college World Series is at Rosenblatt. That was pretty cool. The old one, not the new one. Now it's something else. But
now it's no, because TD Ameritrade just got sold to Schwab, so I reckon TD Ameritrade Park is probably going to change names because that's what it's changed to now.
Yeah,
the Blatt is now a fucking restaurant bar inside of there, or right on the outskirts of there.
They have that big ass like swimming center. Is that, I don't know if it's a swimming or if it's a event center, but
no, it's the
it's like the Q West.
It was. I know it as the Quest Center because I saw Green Day like 3 times in there when it was called the Quest Center. It's now called the CHI Health Center, and it's not a doctor's office. It's
gotta love naming
25,000 seat arena.
I can't wait till your guys' podcast gets so big so it can get changed to like the TD Ameritrade Anomalies podcast.
Yeah,
like naming rights are so stupid for stadiums.
Oh my god, there was such the conundrum because everyone was all like, because they announced it, they're all like, so it's literally going to be called the CHI Health Center. Like there is no like, we're not going to differentiate that it's not a medical center.
People are going to go there and be like, I need to see a doctor. And they're like,
it's like,
only doctor we got here is Dr. Pepper. So if you want to live to 104, here you go.
And it's like, and it's got like and it's like the rights to it are like or like 7 or 8 years. Like they tried for a decade and they got 7 or 8 years out the deal. And it's like, really?
That doesn't bode well. Can't even commit to a whole decade.
But I reckon now that TD Ameritrade got bought out just recently, it's going to probably change to like the Schwab Center or some shit like that, or the Schwab Field,
which is so wild because it was it was Rosenblatt for forever. It was just like
Rosenblatt was like it got torn down.
Yeah. Now they just have the stupid little post up.
But like they built literally a new stadium, like literally across the street from where the Blatt once stood.
Yeah.
And now fucking TD Ameritrade Park.
Gotta love it. So being from Nebraska, so you live in Kearney? Is that how that's pronounced? Kearney?
Yep, like a carnival person. Kearney. Yeah.
Kearney. I always say Kearney. I don't know why. My wife hates it. She tells me
everyone thinks that the KEA is like a kernel of popcorn.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's a slang term, y'all.
Now I've driven through it quite a few times going from Colorado to Iowa. Is that we literally go through there through that town every time we go through. But is that the one where there's like a big like bridge over the highway.
The
Is that
archway.
okay? That's what I thought.
They call it literally the archway.
Yeah. I was
And
gonna
like
say.
you can go in there and there's like a full tour of like Americana through Nebraska, where you can go through like the whole state in the arch.
Nice. Yeah.
That became a thing in like when I was like a fourth grader, like
Oh,
mid
okay.
90s.
I was gonna say because
I
I
remember,
remember seeing that, and then I'm like, I know that's kind of like, I'm like, okay, we're almost like we're on the home stretch. Like,
you're 3 hours away from
yeah.
civilization.
Well, actually,
But
that thing, your town is kind of like got a little like, I don't know if it's maybe just like my stupid like we pull off the highway there, but like every time I go there, I swear there's like another like 27 restaurants.
oh yeah, that's that hotel corridor is popping.
Yeah. Yeah. That thing, every time I stop, I'm like, oh shit. I remember last time we stopped, it was like there was a Moe's, and I hadn't seen one because we don't have them in Colorado, but we have. I was like, there's a fucking Moe's. Let's go.
I know, I loved Moe's, but they would never fucking staff it, so it went bye.
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone. Now. It's now Pepper Jack's now in that spot. I was disappointed too because fucking I love that the chili con queso. Oh,
yeah. Okay. So have you ever had Chipotle?
Yeah.
Okay. What is better, Chipotle or Moe's? People think I'm nuts because I say Moe's. I love.
No,
Moe's,
you're not nuts. I'd say Moe's.
Like
I would say Moe's. Yeah.
I wish like if I had it, I would definitely open up like I would buy a Moe's franchise and put it in Colorado. Because there's one like way the fuck out there that in the entire state. I would make it.
Granted, you're in the Springs, but don't you guys have Big City Burrito out there?
I don't think so. I've never seen one.
I guess that must be a northern thing, but it must because I know it's in Fort Collins, but we used to have one of those here, and it was pretty fucking baller Mexican food. Not gonna lie to you.
I'll have to check that out because we go north. So my daughter plays basketball. So like we play some tournaments in like Denver, Fort Collins. So I'll have to check.
Yeah, Fort Collins people just decided we're gonna open up some in Nebraska, and they said let's do one in Kearney. And they had one here for a good decade before it finally just piddled out. It was a good eatery.
I have to check that out. If I'm up there and I see it, I'm definitely checking it out. That's for sure. Like it's so funny to me because like some like people don't even know. A lot of people don't even know when I mention Moe's. They're like, "What is Moe's?" I don't even. And like you're like, it's a better Chipotle. Like that's like literally what I tell people.
I mean, it's pretty close. I'd say Moe's and Q. I'm more of a Qdoba guy.
That is true. Moe's is more probably equivalent to Qdoba. So
yeah. But if I had to, like Dying Island, and I'm boarding my last plane flight to my death, I'd rather have Qdoba than Moe's.
Moe's is queso gets me every time. There's something about it. There are days where like when I used to work in the wine business in Virginia, there was like my last stop was like in the strip mall, and like in the strip mall there was a Moe's. I would just go and get like a bag of chips and a big queso, and that would be my lunch.
That's the gimmick because they deep fry that shit in the house and they give it away for you. You know?
Yeah,
you get loaded with 2 bags worth, and you don't have to pay for it.
Dude, they do not skimp on it. They are like I remember the first time I realized that was I got one, and my daughter, my oldest daughter, I would take her there, and she was like maybe 2 or 3. Maybe she had to be walking and she could talk, so maybe she was 3, almost 4. But I remember I was like, "Hey, we're almost out of chips. You should go ask if we can get some more chips because we still had all this queso." And they sent her back to the thing with like 2 big.
Yeah.
I was like, "Geez."
I had friends who would work on the other side of the counter, and they'd be all like, "Here you go." I'm like,
okay, sweet.
I'm just gonna keep it moving. All right.
Dude, yeah, I loved Moe's, and Moe's was also one of the first places, at least in Virginia, that had the freestyle Coke machines.
Oh,
and I love those.
See, those are now becoming a thing here, as white yippee as that is.
Yeah, I saw a Pepsi one for the first time.
No way, there is a Pepsi one.
I was walking past. It was another strip mall. I was taking my other daughter for dinner because we were doing something stupid. We were in town, but I was picking up dinner, and we were walking to. She was
dropping knowledge right now.
Ironically, she was going to Jimmy John's. She wanted to go to Jimmy John's. So Jimmy John's is like I parked and then we had to walk past like two. Like, I think it's like a chicken place. It's a local chicken place. But through the window they had like I was like, oh, they got the freestyle machine just randomly. But then I looked and I was like, it's Pepsi. And so I had like big touch screen and so I've never seen one other than that one. So
whoa,
I don't know.
like I guess granted we're a Coke town, but still that's wild.
I figured Kearney would be more of a meth town.
Well, we got our fair share of that.
Everywhere.
Well, I mean, you don't go a week without somebody who has the built-in meth in their truck. Try and start cooking it. Set their truck afire, and then have the police call and ask questions.
Yeah, no, it's it doesn't seem like that. It seems like that would be the kind of place meth would get cooked.
But it's a weekly occurrence. Everyone just sits, points, and laughs, and then kind of moves on.
No, for sure. I think that's like the thing was small towns are like meth towns for some reason.
It's so weird. And it's just like, it's like sometimes when you go out, it's like, how in the hell can you find like such dirty shit going out? It's like, is there a certain crowd you roll with, or there's these people just IM and DM each other on Twitter? It's like,
right. Well, I mean, like especially now, like it's like who does meth? Like who chooses?
Yeah.
Like it's not good. It's not like a glamorous one. You know what I mean? Like get like the first people who did meth were like, "Whoa, this is cool!" Like I'm a super hyper and shit. But like, I can only imagine what the people who now are doing meth. They're like, "What the?" It's like people who smoke now and be like, "I didn't know I could get cancer from it."
Yeah. Like you didn't think about that to begin with, huh?
You're like, I feel like
that car stands high was so worth it.
I guess really? I feel like what is it? People who get hooked on meth are like people who got hooked on like crack or like cocaine and then just can't afford it, so they just go cheap. Yeah. They get the great value version of it.
See, when I experimented with that stuff, it just gave me heartburn. I was like, never again.
You were like,
it's like sure, I partied it up the night, but like, you pass out for 2 or 3 hours, you wake up, and it's just like you're vomiting all of a sudden. You don't know why, and you're like, heartburn, man.
Yeah,
changes lives.
That's crazy. I couldn't. I never had a drug issue. Never. I mean, I didn't also experiment with a bunch of them either. So like, but it just never seemed to be my. I don't like to be super out of control, but
I don't either. But it was just. I was in a good spot to do it, and I just kind of just said, "Screw it! I'm just gonna pass out here, wake up at 8 o'clock, and go to work." And turns out, I woke up at 5:30 with a massive heartburn and left that house then, and just soiled it up for the 3 hours.
Yeah, a lot. I can only imagine how that was.
It was hella unpleasant.
Well, that's the thing is like I can't imagine it like the being like it. Everybody who's like, oh, let's do this. Like they're always like, it's the back end is not great. Like,
yeah, they're always skeptical, and I don't get me wrong. I don't cave into peer pressure, but it's just like I wasn't gonna hop behind the wheel or do anything that.
No, yeah.
So yeah. I was just like, I'm gonna do it. Do whatever comes of it, pass out, wake up. I just wanted to wake up 3 hours later.
You were like, ruin my sleep. Yep. Oh man, that's wild. All right, so getting to the point in the podcast, let's I'll do some rapid fire.
Oh shit. Holy fuck, we've gone for an hour.
Easy talk, right? easy chit chat.
My god, you're getting up into our territory.
I'm gonna get full Joe Rogan status eventually.
Well, you're just cataclysmic times, and that's like pinnacle 4 hours.
Just 4 hours of time. No, so get to the point where I'll do some rapid fire questions for you, and then we'll get you out of here. Get you back to editing some podcasts.
Yeah, gotta do that because gotta edit and drop one. Hopefully tomorrow. Cross the fingers.
For sure. Which one comes out tomorrow, possibly?
It's you, Fleegs, and myself.
Oh, that was a good podcast. That was a fun one.
Yep.
The
I just gotta tie all the ends together, bounce it, hit send.
the podcast that wasn't necessarily a podcast that became a podcast.
One of our other hosts was supposed to host because the other host was in vacay in Florida. And so Marco was supposed to host, but he never showed. So I was just like, I'm just going to hit record and see what happens. And it turns out it was pretty fucking funny.
We had some good topics on that one.
We just kept interweaving NFL wherever we went. It's just like the NFL was like the main highway. We just kept veering off one way, and then we went NFL, veering off the other way, NFL.
It's an easy go-to, right? All right, so sticking on the topic of podcasts, and since you are someone who does recording and editing, what would be your dream scenario, dream band and dream podcaster to record for?
Oh, band
and one of each. So best your like dream scenario, like they come to you and they're like, we want you to record our album.
I mean, the 12-year-old me would definitely either say Blink-182 or Green Day, but college me would say a band from Australia called Frenzal Rom.
Okay.
They're a punk band from Australia. Like, they're very similar, but a hell of a lot more dirtier.
Okay.
Like, because in Australia, cunt's like a good word to say.
Yeah.
You won't get in trouble for it.
Yeah.
My wife's going to slap you, one of them. And because they're all phenomenal musicians. Like, they're all virtual. Like, the bass player, slap riffs for days. Like, even if you venture on, like, the YouTube and just look up their live sessions, it's wild, the virtuosity of this band.
But they're a punk band?
Mm-hmm.
That's wild, because punk bands are usually known for not necessarily being the greatest.
Going as fast as they can, being as sloppy as possible.
That's awesome. That's fucking cool.
Like, I encourage, if you're of the punk ilk and don't mind speed, like really, really fast tempos, to check this band out. I've loved them ever since. Like,
that's
I
awesome.
always keep, once in a while you'll see me on Twitter chirping them, come the fuck stateside.
Right? You're like, I'll go see you.
and then I eventually, sometimes I get chirped of, what's stateside? US dumb fucks.
Look at my profile. Right? No, so okay, so
but podcasts, shifting to that one, I would say I'd like to call my shot, but if any of the Barstool people are all like, we need someone to produce and you're in the area, I'd be like, can I please? I'd love to. I'd love to see what Hank would go through on PMT. I'd love to see what little Brendan goes through producing the KFC one. And just seeing the behind the scenes, my recording nerddom would be complete.
That'd be awesome. I can see it happening. I mean, you guys are your podcast is definitely like suited for that genre of. I could see it.
Like, I just, even if it was just for a day, I'd give a testicle. You can clip that.
That might be the clip. Oh, that'd be hilarious. All right, so we got those two answers. That's an awesome.
Sorry, it's supposed to be rapid fire, and I'm putting thought.
No, I like them. Actually, they don't have to be rapid fire. It's more so like just like where there's an answer, like not like what are your thoughts on theoretical physicists, or like you know what I mean, like that, nothing like that.
Let me pull out my whiteboard and show you.
like let me break it down. Your fondest sports memory as a fan, which we may have already touched on. I don't know.
I mean, fuck. As a fan?
Yeah. Doesn't have to be like in person. It could be like just as a fan.
Because the in-person one, it's fucking pretty hard to top the Tyreek taking over a camera thing. But probably the coolest one was the hook and ladder 07 national championship between OU and Boise State.
Yeah, that was a pretty good
That
one.
was like one of the jaw dropping.
That's
the coolest moment.
That was a pretty badass moment. That's a good answer.
Especially that one dude that caught the pass that got lateraled the pass.
Yeah,
at the end. That was just don't get much better.
That's the one good thing about college is like it's obviously because there's so many more games that are being played because you have more colleges, but like you seem to get like those weird plays like every week, like not quite like to that level, but like you get something that you're like, I've never seen that before, or like
you get the swinging gate where there's like fucking center quarterback and then there's the offensive line, and then there's a receiver you throw it to and he just scores.
Like I remember being while I was in Nebraska, I love Tommy Frazier. I love the way they played, but I was a huge Colorado Buffs fan because Charles Johnson was like my favorite receiver all time, and that was when Cordell Stewart was there.
Makes sense. I figured you were gonna drop Katie.
So I remember the play they had against Michigan where it just bounced off like three people and dude made the catch. That was pretty dope.
And I bet you were also pretty conscious for the Matt Davison catch at Mizzou too.
Oh yeah.
On that.
Yeah.
That was a pretty legendary catch too. Ironically enough, he now calls football games for him.
Oh, for real?
For real.
I didn't know that.
He's also a liaison to the university because of the Scott Frost connection. But I mean, that's what he does on Saturdays.
That's pretty cool. It's cool to see so many like former players getting into the thing. I mean, I guess it's always been like that, but I don't remember Chris Collinsworth as a player. I just remember him as like a announcer.
I don't remember him either. Because wasn't he a Giant in the 80s?
I know he was I know he played for the Bengals.
No, that's right. You're right. Bengals. That's right.
But like Boomer Esiason played for like the Jets and stuff like that. But like all those dudes were in it. But like I don't know. It's cool to see like Pat and like all the other guys like hop into it and stuff.
It is. It's super cool.
All right. What's your go-to fast food order?
Depends on the place.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like your go-to. Like if someone says everything's on the table.
I go to Burger King. I use the app. Usually do the 2 small fries, 2 chicken sandwich deal for like $5 and add like a 10-piece nugget. Because usually most of the time I have a drink to begin with.
Yeah. 10-piece nuggets is so cheap there and actually pretty legit.
It's like I'm torn. It's usually that or a taco. One of the two. Because I don't mind the taco.
The tacos, I was weirded out at it by first because I was expecting a different taste, but they're actually good. Like once you've like had them, like I actually enjoy them. I don't get to eat them much because I'm obviously doing keto, but they're not keto friendly. But
that's just like working a sandwich shop. You gotta have different sandwiches because you get enough free sandwiches of your own. So you gotta be all like spice up the life.
Do you ever get to make anything that's not on the menu to eat, or how does that work for you guys?
Fuck yeah. Well, I'll say it this way: that you do get a free sandwich after working 5 hours, or you get a half price one for working less than that. And you can add cheese or avo if you want. But what I usually do is they don't usually give a fuck about what I make. So most of the time I just the 2 new sandwiches I've been delling around a lot, the Jimmy Cubano and the spicy East Coast Italian. And usually I make super versions of those because they come with like 2 portions of each meat. I usually put 3 or 4.
Nice.
Like hella extra cheese, sneak bacon, all that sort of shit.
Nice. That's the best way to do it, right?
I mean, you don't be obnoxious with it, but you just take the little bit extra.
Oh yeah.
And then just like nobody fucking says anything.
Well, it's good that like companies like do that. Like, I mean, I've always wondered like because somebody was telling me, I can't remember, they worked fast food as like when we were in high school, and they were like, I was like, do you get free food? And they're like, no, like we get like whatever, some discount or something. I'm like, that's so stupid. Like,
well, like I used to deliver sandwiches. Like, I was the best at it. both. Like I used to work because we have 2 Jimmy John's in town.
Yeah.
I used to split time between 2 stores just delivering sandwiches,
Damn.
and then the state insurance snafu fucked that up. So now I do fucking slinging them in shop.
Yeah.
But they still pay me not well, but decently.
I mean, can't beat the free sandwich set, right?
Right. And that's how it's like most of the time, that's how you take advantage of it because there's stuff that is perfectly good, but in
Oh,
Jimmy
yeah.
John's land, we throw it out. So
Dude,
it's
one
like,
of my favorite things about Jimmy John's is the fact that like you can just get free fucking bread.
yeah.
Like my one son is like the pickiest because he's like 2.5. He'll just fucking house bread though. Like kids will
Like
just,
that bread is so good with PB and J. Like I'm kind of glad we don't do a PB and J yet,
yeah.
but I hope to be out of there before it happens.
Right. I mean, the Jimmy John's is like, I mean, I did not realize how big Jimmy John's was until like maybe in the last couple of years.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Like
It got big.
that backlash that he took for taking all the being a hunter and taking all the pictures.
Yeah.
Like they won't say it publicly, but that's the reason why they made Jimmy sell the rest of his shares and get completely out of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he made a fucking fuckload though.
Yeah.
So
Like they won't publicly state that, but
yeah.
a lot of higher ups at my franchise have said, yeah, that's the fucking reason he left.
Well, that's the problem. Don't hire a Jimmy or a John.
Right.
And let them work with food. All right, so I'll insert here our previous guest question, and that was from Logan on our last one, Logan Park, and he wanted to know what this guest's top 3 favorite Christmas movies are.
We're gonna start with Die Hard. It's top 3. Is number 3.
All right.
The Holiday is number 2 with Kate Winslet, Cameron Diaz, Jack Black. Awesome movie.
Okay.
Want to bang Kate Winslet. And
That's
number 1.
That's
Number 1. What was? It's a Wonderful Life.
okay. That's a legit one. Can't beat that one.
In either black and white or color. I've seen both versions.
I don't think I've ever seen a color version.
Yeah, there's a colored version.
Huh. It's the same movie though. They just colorized it.
Yeah, but there's also like, there's the VHS. There's like an extended cut edition on the VHS.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
It's like one of my favorite movies to watch, and because it's like my parents watch it, their parents watched it.
It's tradition.
Yeah, we weren't a Christmas Story household. Everyone loves and urinates on red frame glasses. Kid, I couldn't give a fuck.
See, my household was a neither. Like we didn't watch either one. So like people were like every girl I've ever dated, it was very much a one or the other. Like it seemed like we were like a Christmas Vacation family.
See, that would be number 4 if I were to do a 4 and a 5. That would be definitely number 4 is Christmas Vacation.
Nice. Did you ever see any of the other vacation movies that they did?
I love Vegas Vacation.
I was gonna say Vegas Vacation is my favorite.
And the 90s when they pull away in the 4 cars that they want.
Yeah, Mr. Papa Giorgio. That's my favorite one. I love that one.
That's my favorite one of all time. Right behind the original, but favorite of all time.
All right. What is if they made a movie of your life, who would play you in the movie?
We casted this once, in terms of band.
You know what? You know what I want? Actually, I'm gonna rephrase the question. If they made a movie of the Anomalies podcast, who plays everybody, including yourself?
Oh, I gotta start with myself. Hold on, let me do some Googling. Trying to think of that the fat white guy from Remember the Titans.
Shit. Ethan Suplee?
I think that's their name, but I'm not entirely sure.
He was in Mallrats, like the Kevin Smith movie.
Yes.
Yeah, Ethan Suplee.
Yes, he would play me.
Okay.
He'd probably have to get taller in some way, shape, or form.
They can work the movie magic to make him taller.
I get Robert Trujillo to play Trash Man. Just because I don't know, every time I look at Trash Man and doing these things, I'm always like, I always have to do a double take and think, that's not Robert Trujillo, yo. Even though most of the time he's in hat and can't see the back of his head to begin with, but just face build up, Robert Trujillo.
Okay.
Tanner and Marco are hard.
Tanner is a weird one. Like I don't know who you would think to play Tanner.
Tanner and Marco are like. I don't want to insult Marco and be all like Carlos Mencia.
At least you didn't say Fluffy though. Could have been worse.
I mean, I could go that route too. Be all like Sean's friend Fluffy. But Tanner's hard.
Tanner is a hard one. That's why I thought of it. I was like,
what big old lump dude with blonde hair? Hulk. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Who?
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. This is going to be the greatest movie of all time.
Yeah, Granted, he'd have to lose the stash.
Yeah.
I don't think or like Diet Red to account for Tanner's slight gingerness.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But fuck.
Marco's hard. Marco's hard.
I don't want to go with a fat Mexican. Fuck. I mean, I'm gonna need help.
I was gonna say you could go with I don't even know. Like I'm trying to think of like casting it like dead on, but like you could go with almost. No.
I could almost go Seth Rogen in his fat days.
I mean, yeah, just give him a tan.
Right.
That'd be hilarious.
Or what was? Ask me about my wiener, dude.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, get him with a bunch of cut. One of them two.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Ethan Suplee, we got Hulk Hogan, Danny Trejo, and Seth Rogen or Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
That's a movie I'd watch. I'd watch that movie.
Yeah, I would too.
That'd be a good one.
Filming that would just be quite the experience. Be all like, we'll go to a WrestleMania ring. Why? Just for the fuck of it.
Just for the fuck of it. That'd be hilarious. I was gonna say for Tanner, I was gonna say you could maybe get like Macaulay Culkin to eat like 7,000 burgers.
Get a fat.
Because he's so small.
That is true. And he's blonde or Bieber. Can you imagine a fat Bieber?
Like, yeah, I could actually kind of see Fat Bieber as being Tanner.
Like I could see that, just a bit of scruff.
The shit. He'd have to go all blonde. He'd have to just bleach everything. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Well, since we're getting up there, last question. Well, it's not the last question because I'm gonna ask you about your social media handles. But last question is, what question do you want to ask the next guest, and then answer that question?
Okay, so on either an MP3 device or a phone of some sort, you have 3 albums that you listen to in the event of a plane crash, and you have one faithful phone charge left. What are the 3 albums that you're putting on your phone / MP3 device?
Okay. So 3 albums.
Or 3 artists. I don't really care. Either or.
3 artists or 3 albums for the rest of your life.
Depending on if you do phone or if you do MP3 device. That's kind of where I'm coming from with that.
You get 3 artists for the rest of your life, basically.
Mhm.
All right. What
For
would
the
yours
one
be?
for the one faithful charge that you get in the event that you die.
All right. What's on yours?
Two Frenzal Rhomb albums and the latest Green Day album, Revolution Radio.
Okay. It's a lot of punk. You're just going out with the punk.
Yeah, I came in. No, I'll do one Frenzal Rhomb, that one. Mark Tom Travis show, The Enema Strikes Back.
Okay, that's legit. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Mhm.
Mine would be Dashboard Confessional, Swiss Army Romance, because that's the album that got me into them, and they're one of my favorite bands.
Fine choice.
Carter Halsey, he's an independent artist, but it's called A Note in Your Pocket. I'm actually wearing his hat right now. He's also the lyrics that I have tattooed on me. He's a friend. Hopefully, I'll get him on. I should try to get him on the podcast. Actually, he's like Americana, in acoustic folk. Oh, I guess some of his stuff's electric. It's really good.
I dig some of them stuffs. I like that. I like them.
I'll have to put together a mix and send it to you. It's good stuff. You'd probably like it. So those two, and then I don't know why, but I'd probably feel like I know that my last one would be Brand New's Deja Entendu. I love that record.
Oh, that's another fine choice.
I love that record from start to finish. I do feel bad not putting Tegan and Sarah LeCon on there though, but because that would probably be my fourth choice. I have a weird taste in music.
No, it's fine. I understand. Like them Tegan and Sarah fans are diehard though.
I don't.
Ruthless on Twitter too. You don't want to piss them off.
I don't. They get to a certain album, and I can't get. It just doesn't connect. I like the earlier stuff, but yeah, they're also Canadian, but
yes, as we established on the Anomalies podcast.
Yes. Well,
and our foray into Canadian top 150 bands and slash artists.
That was a fucking amazing episode. We definitely got down on that. So, Tyler, I appreciate you being on. My last question: where can everybody go find you at the Anomalies and just on social media, and where can people connect with you?
Oh shit! What? At Tyler Allen on Twitter. Tyler Allen on Instagram. The Anomalies Pod on Instagram, and
is it
Twitter?
The Anomalies _ or the _Anomalies?
The _Anomalies on Twitter is where the podcast lives. Awesome. One of the four of us runs or always tweet something idiotic or stupid. Just you don't know who.
Yeah, right. It's great. It's a fun one to follow. I enjoy following it.
And then YouTube under the Pro Sports Extra banner, you can usually find a lot of our Anomalies videos, and then hopefully by the end of this evening on Friday, I'll put out our first video episode with Mushroom Matt, episode 21.
That's awesome. That's I'm excited to get you guys to watch you guys on visual stuff. On my days off, I usually run. I do the Chromecast, so I just Chromecast YouTube to like my TV, and I can walk around my entire house and hear it. So
I'm gonna start trying to release them on a semi-regular schedule, like on either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I haven't really decided, but then the following week, releasing the previous week's video of the previous week's audio.
Oh, that's cool. Ryan Sickler does that with the Honeydew. Do you know what the Honeydew is?
Yeah, I'm essentially taking that idea from him.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he releases, I think, his audio on like a Monday and releases the video on like a Friday or something. Something like that.
Because I just think it usually plays get played out over a week, and then you can roll with the video.
It seems like the video people tend to find it whenever, and sometimes you find stuff. I mean, I found like audio podcast via YouTube, where like I've watched them for the first time, but then like I actually like then become a listener because of the YouTube.
That's what we're trying to do is expand our reach to the YouTube and to Instagram. Like I don't have any videos on the Instagram yet because I haven't found a fucking suitable way to upload them from a fucking web browser.
Yeah. But I want to start doing some I'm going to start doing some IGTV stuff. I think that's like my next.
Like that's the goal, but it's like you still got to find a suitable way to upload your minute of content.
Yeah. Well, I think IGTV you get 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
I
yeah.
think so.
But it's still got to be 4 minutes for that square, and it's just like
there's a we'll have to talk off podcast. I think there's a good way to do it.
Oh, really?
I think so. I'll have to. Yours might be the first one I do as an IGTV. Maybe I'll put some stuff up. Maybe a clip. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I got to get on there. IG is just not. I love Twitter so much. That's where I'm at mostly.
Same.
And so
I live most of the time. I live on my Twitter.
Yeah, that's where I live too. It's the best place I think for me, but I don't know. But I appreciate you being on, Tyler.
Thank you,
taking time out of your busy schedule. Also, thank you for hooking me up with how to record this video, because that was all on you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
It's made my life so much easier and brought these awesome interviews into being able to happen. So
it's nice when you can just focus on being creative rather than being technical, isn't it?
Right. I will say that's the one thing I think people miss out on in the community in general. So we all came together as Pat McAfee fans. So shout out to Pat McAfee. But we have this little community that I know we have some private chats that a bunch of us are in. We play fantasy football together, and I think that's the cool thing about technology. So many people in different, as we've already established, different time zones can be friends that they would never meet. So.
I know, and I'm trying to corral the other three because I'm gonna be in Chicago my birthday weekend. And I was gonna be Tanner, Marco, meet me in Chicago.
Right? When's your birthday? Is it coming up?
January 12th.
Well, I'll talk to you before then, but happy early birthday, podcast wise. Well, with that, we'll sign off. Everyone go wish Tanner a happy early birthday when you watch this. All right. And for episode 13 will be your lucky number 13. Awesome.
Woo! Keenan Allen, baby. I fucking should have worn my Keenan Allen jersey.
Should have worn the Keenan Allen jersey.
Not my Jimmy Johnson.
That's awesome. Yeah, lucky number 13. So awesome, man. And your guest number 3. Any Chargers that wear number 3? Famous ones?
Not that I can recall. My head. Stoner brain.
Any famous Red Sox wearing number 3?
Oh no.
Did the Babe wear number 3 when he played for the Red Sox?
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so. That's probably why. Well, now that's your little history lesson. And we're signing off. So good night, or whenever you watch it.